We ready?
I am.
Ready as I'm gonna be.
Sigh. Greetings and welcome to Old Drunken Discography, where old friends and fans come together to BS, argue, occasionally agree, and discuss a musical artist. I'm your host, Jason. With me is Tim.
That is me!
And Bill.
Hi! I made it.
And this week, it's Bill's turn to choose an artist. Each week, we rotate out. One of us brings an artist, and we're back on the Bill artist. So, Bill Corps Battalion, get ready to go to war. Get your dogs of war on, because we're talking Mötley Crüe.
Yeah,
I don't know if
here we go.
So I don't know if we want to get our dogs of war on, but
Oh, well, someone put it as a notable release. So we
I
can
mean,
talk. We'll get there.
unfortunately, yeah.
We'll get there. We're going all the way back, though, to 1981's for Too Fast for Love first. So, brief history relationship with the band. I guess I'll go first. It's Mötley Crüe. I know the singles. Never had the inclination to ever listen to a whole album of Mötley Crüe because, well, it's that genre of music that I don't really like. I like to dub it. Some people call it hair metal. Some people call it like 80s rock. I call it the kicked in the nuts rock. So that's just never been my thing, you know. But hey, I listen to it, so I got opinions. What about you, Bill? Why did you bring us Mötley Crüe?
Yeah, I'll follow that up. Anyone who's been following this show for a while knows I definitely have a soft spot for hair metal. One of the first bands I brought was Cinderella. Um, it's Mötley Crüe is definitely one that's always been there. They've definitely persisted still in radio and medias in through the 2000s and 2010s for sure. Uh, Definitely have always enjoyed their songs personally. The I can't remember which greatest hits album it was one of the first full albums I actually had on my listening device growing up. Good old MP3 players. Uh, I and I always enjoyed it. I've known some of the deeper cuts, like um, I've known like the Theater of Pain album before this, and I knew a fair amount of Doctor Feelgood. Uh, Besides that, wasn't too much on a lot of the full albums, but I knew I liked a lot throughout the entire discography.
When you said you brought us Cinderella, one of the first bands you brought us, it flashed in my head. The editor of me flashed in my head, like I wanted to like do like a slow mo shot of like Joe and Ed and Colquitt and all the old guests saying, "You don't know what you got till it's gone."
Cowboy guest starred on that one.
Yes, he did.
He'd be in the montage.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
He would be. He'd probably. He was a Crüe fan, I believe.
Yeah, well, and I'll follow that up. I was certainly of the age where this was popular enough that I got hooked. Um, Probably the first band that I really kind of obsessed over as I was getting into music. Um, I think that they are a pretty good gateway band into rock and roll music, um, and especially the heavier, darker stuff. But I mean, we're getting into all that. Um, but yeah, I mean, as I got older and my tastes changed and refined or whatever, this was one of the first bands that I had to actually have a conversation with myself about, and so I have some interesting opinions at this point in time.
Yeah, they're Aerosmith. That was Aerosmith for me, and we all go through
A little
that
bit,
phase
yeah,
of like,
yeah,
you got to sit yourself down and be like, why am I really listening to this?
right.
I ask myself that every day.
Well, and I mean, everybody has that gateway band that at
Yeah,
some point that you hear when you're 8 or whatever, and be like, well, I don't know any 8-year-olds with good musical taste, so
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, no offense to any 8-year-olds watching this. Obviously, you didn't click the box and go to bed, but
Yeah. Don't drink, kids.
that's right.
Stay in
Don't
school.
drink in Mötley Crüe.
Well, Bill, this is your pick. You want to
Let's
kick
say
us
I'll start
off?
off. I'll start off too fast for love. Um, so start off with Live Wire, which, if I'm not mistaken, was definitely a single off of this first album. Uh, I enjoy the fast-paced energy it brings. I feel like for the start of Motley Crue's discography, that was a really good place for it to start. Come On and Dance. I you know it. I don't feel like they're really starting true what came to be hair metal throughout the '80s. But like they're just starting to like bridge into it. I felt like, especially in that song. Um, I definitely enjoyed it. However, Public Enemy number one is probably my top song off of this A side for sure of the album. I really just like how, I mean, you've got the guitar that does a brief solo. You have, kind of like a not start stop, but like, like almost like a call kind of with himself going on, especially for the chorus. Merry-Go-Round, I, it starts a little bit slower and kind of ramps up some. But it's, another solid song. Take Me to the Top, also enjoy. Piece of the Action might be my low point on the album, but it's not, I would in no way say it's a bad song. It's just, it never really enjoyed it as much per se. Starry Eyes, really enjoyed the feel and the beat behind that one. Too Fast for Love. I mean, I feel like most people have heard this one at some point from Motley Crue. Uh, really enjoy the whole way through. On with the Show, I feel like was a solid closer. Um, it definitely top song contender, probably my second favorite song on the album, actually. Not best closer in discography, but definitely would give a nod to it. As for the bonus tracks, Toast of the Town, I, really enjoyed a lot of the guitar going on that one. Tonight, it's all right, and Stick to Your Guns.
I'm pretty sure
Oh,
tonight's a cover, right?
Yeah, it's a
yes.
Raspberries cover.
Raspberries, that's right. Yeah.
Stick to Your Guns was good, more than decent, but not great. Say for a debut, I thought that they came out not necessarily swinging like some of the other bands that we covered have. A lot of 80 bands, really their debut was swinging. This one wasn't as powerful, but I feel like this helped launch them into their upcoming albums.
I mean, I'll give them that. This isn't like full on Cinderella. Like there's still some like blues rock, like bar rock. You can hear the influence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I say I would say it's not really until really Theater of Pain is when they really went full hair metal at that point. Because even Shout at the Devil, which we'll get into, like, yeah, it's kind of there, but it's not fully enveloped, I don't think.
Well, I mean, you could argue too that's just time wise because it was these albums that really helped establish that whole scene. You
Yes,
know,
true.
because yeah, when you put this thing into context, what was this 82?
81.
Van Halen's still top dog. Um, the thrash scene is just in its baby steps. Punk is kind of morphing into hardcore slash whatever punk turns into by the late 80s. But at this point, it's still very, you know, it's experimental. It's turning into new wave. And yeah, what is this going up against on the radio? Toto and Night Ranger and Pat Benatar and what High and Dry is out at this point. Um, so yeah, this is definitely a cornerstone of that entire scene, I would say. And Yeah, there are two different versions. I actually have the Leather Records version. So I'm going to say the song's a little bit out of order. Um, and then I got a regular copy stuffed in here as well. And, I think both versions are fine. I'm not going to get into the differences, but I would say if you enjoy this album, whichever version you've heard, you'd probably enjoy the other version as well. And it is interesting, like comparison and the differences of what a mix can do to an album or even to a song. So it's interesting stuff. And yeah, the album starts off with Live Wire. It's a banger. It's a 80s classic. I think it holds up. It's still full of energy. I love the guitar tone kind of throughout this entire album. Um, and then what we go to Public Enemy #1 is that's a pretty good song. I like that one a lot. Take Me to the Top might be a high point for me on this album. It's full of energy. I love the drums on it. It's a cool riff. Merry-Go-Round, like Bill said, it kind of slows it down, but I think it's a jam. I think it builds into something really nice. Piece of Your Action, I think, is a classic. Starry Eyes, I think, is a underrated classic. I'm going to even go say top song contender. This version has Stick to Your Guns, which isn't on the normal version, or the more popular version, we should say. Bonus track, I guess. It's decent, for what it is and in the context. Like, I totally love this is the beginning. They're still just playing bars and just blowing up. And yeah, if you saw this in a bar, like, I would not leave. Come On and Dance, I think it's number 2 on the regular version, right? That's how different this version is. It's dirty, it's raw, it's kind of dancey, it's a cool riff. The title track, Too Fast for Love, that's probably the one with the biggest differences between the two versions. I think both are fine. It is a fun song. And then, On With the Show, I think, is a great closer. I think overall, it's not like the greatest album you're ever going to hear from that time period, but it's a very solid album and one that, for me, it's like a good party record. You can just kind of throw this on at a party and it'll work. I think it's a fun record.
So I'm just curious because if I remember right, Too Fast for Love has like 2 different intros to it, doesn't it? Is it the same on both
Yeah.
albums, or is it?
The Leather Records has the intro that they edited out for the Elektra.
Okay.
Where Elektra just kind of starts right with the vocals, right?
Yep. Yeah. Say it just goes into it right away rather than that build up.
Yeah, that's probably the biggest musical difference. But there are like a ton of mixing choices and different takes used here and there. So it is interesting to compare the two different versions if you're into the album. And I do want to throw out there too that, like, this is it's like it's still bordering on that edge of punk rock where these are really easy songs to learn how to play if you're just starting being in a rock band. This is easy, fun stuff to play with your friends as you guys like figure out what you guys want to do.
Minus the guitar solos, there's some pretty, I don't want to say complicated, but I mean there are some great guitar solos here.
Yeah, and shout out to Mick Mars. He delivers a guitar solo every time. But the riffs themselves and the song structures are pretty basic.
Yeah, the riffs are pretty.
And they're fun to play.
Well, I'll go through my notes. The open lines.
Tell us how we're wrong, Jason. Tell us how we're wrong.
Well, there was some glaring things y'all missed, and I was shocked. But the opening lines of this discography are "Plug Me In," "I'm Alive Tonight," "Out on the Streets Again," 1 out of 5. Bleh. Good riffs. It's a fine opening track, though. "Come On and Dance," again, great riffs, but one of the worst uses of a cowbell I've ever heard.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I mean, it's hard to fuck up a cowbell, but Public Enemy #1 just kind of happened. good guitar solo, even if it was sloppy as shit, kind of worked in its favor. Okay, scratch what I said about the cowbell in the last song. This was the worst fucking cowbell I've ever heard. Merry-Go-Round, the first 3 songs, I could see the appeal, but this one was just fucking annoying. Take Me to the Top, when I think of Mötley Crüe, this is the sound I think of. This one was actually pretty good. I'm just going to have to remove that horrible 80s high-pitched kicked in the nuts vocals, and it's a ripper. But I guess they're all going to have that, so top song contender. Piece of Your Action, meh. Starry Eyes, when she laughs, she's got the power of a child in her eyes. And when you cry now, she'll hold you like a man's supposed to be held.
I mean, it's pure poetry, but it's a fun song.
It might be time
Speaks to the soul.
It might be time to pull out that old Chris Hansen gif again. I did like the musical.
Hey, we're talking about Mötley Crüe. We're not here to defend them as people.
I like the musical bridge section. Really cool guitar sounds coming through. Like Tim kind of like the guitar's sound, the tone on this record is pretty good.
Yeah, I do like that raw tone.
Vince's weak ass scream thing he did just kind of ruined it for me. Too Fast for Love, meh. Backing vocals took me out of it. On with the Show, still a damn good song. The Ataris do it better, but the emotion here is pretty high. The slow drum rolls that Tommy does, good shit. I'm going to go out on a limb here. This is probably the best closing track in the discography.
Well, and did you catch the part that Green Day rips off? I can't remember what song the Green Day song it was, but they're basically just doing the verses to On with the Show.
No.
I think it was on one of the trilogy albums.
But there was a song on the next record that starts out. And I know Mötley Crüe wasn't the first, but like it starts out sounding just like Green Day's Walking Contradiction with the drums. I was like, oh shit, it's Walking Contradiction. Oh, it's Mötley Crüe. But Mötley Crüe didn't fucking come up with that.
True.
Toast of the Town, nothing special. Tonight, I know it's a cover, but they're doing the Def Leppard thing here a little early in the 80s. Stick to Your Guns. See, now that's how you use a fucking cowbell. This one was actually pretty damn good. It was heavy, and then it starts ripping like Crazy Train. Top song contender. I mean, if you're going to rip off Ozzy and Sabbath, like...
Well, we're going to talk about them a little bit more in the next episode, too, I believe. So,
overall, I mean, it's not the worst debut we've ever heard.
No, it's not.
Oh, gosh, not even close.
And hashtag first album bias, I could see totally in effect here.
I could see that, too.
I can see it.
We might.
It's a fun party record.
Well, Bill, who's got the dot? If this is your first ODD episode, the dot is just a drunken reminder as we go along as to who gets to guess first.
Because this is all just a giant game show anyway, so we got to have some sort of rules.
Right. The dot is just there to help us remember whose turn it is to go.
I'll see. I think this should be the hard ones, maybe. Maybe not. Well, I'll guess the next one, and then we'll just roll from there. I can't count that far ahead.
That's why we use the dots. About album 8, you'll be like, damn it. Why do I have the dot?
Well, I don't think there'll be any difficult decisions to be made by that point either, though.
No. Eventually we're going to hit what I think would be like the Def Leppard effect here.
Stick around.
Yeah.
Shout at the Devils next.
We still got to get out of the 80s.
We're about to hit that Def Leppard point right now. Stick around. Give us a like. Give us a subscribe. Help us out. The algorithm hates us because we cover bands like Butthole Surfers and Mötley Crüe and Green Jello. So tell all your friends.
And Fiona Apple.
We need to start doing some like major bands here and catch that wave.
I think we're going to pick up on a couple here shortly.
Yeah, we got Pink Floyd coming out soon, so.
That's true. Yeah. Stick around for Sonic Youth Sundays.
Yep, Sonic Youth every Sunday. As always, be safe and make good decisions.
And then you go a little woo, and then a little whoop, 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 and then it's all, and then you're ready to go again.
Y'all come back now, you hear?